Max Verstappen trails by 69 points with just races remaining. Red Bull was written off as a championship contender. Their team was reportedly in chaos just weeks ago, but here's what nobody saw coming. 2 consecutive dominant victories have completely changed the narrative. The question everyone's asking now: can a technically skilled team principal who actually listens to his drivers turn a 69-point deficit into the greatest championship comeback Formula One has ever witnessed? And more importantly, what happens when McLaren's drivers realize that fighting each other might hand Verstappen the title on a silver platter? Because according to McLaren's own Andrea Stella, writing off Red Bull and Max Verstappen would be a massive mistake. What seemed like a close championship battle between McLaren's Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris has been thrown wide open. The source material reveals that Verstappen's back-to-back wins in Monza and Baku weren't just lucky breaks. Red Bull brought a new floor to Monza and a new front wing to Baku, and the upgrades are working. The 4-time world champion now has the momentum, and the timing couldn't be more critical. Here's what makes this resurgence so significant. These weren't tracks that traditionally favor Red Bull. In fact, the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore has historically been Red Bull's weakness. Even during their dominant 2023 season when they won 19 out of 22 races, Singapore was the only track where they failed to claim victory. Yet Red Bull's new team principal has expressed high belief that the RB21 can carry momentum into Singapore and challenge for the race win. The technical progress is undeniable. As stated in the source material, Red Bull is happy that on 2 circuits with completely different corner characteristics, their car proved dominant. Monza and Baku present entirely different technical challenges, yet the RB21 excelled at both. That's not coincidence. Engineering excellence finally being unlocked. But Singapore represents the real test. This is a maximum downforce track in extreme heat, 2 factors that have exposed Red Bull's weaknesses all season. The source material specifically mentions that Red Bull struggled significantly in Budapest, a similar high downforce circuit. So what's changed? And can McLaren's intra-team battle actually become Red Bull's secret weapon? Stay with me because the answer involves some fascinating championship mathematics. Here's where the championship fight gets truly interesting. The point structure creates a mathematical problem for McLaren. The race winner gets 7 points more than second place, but second place only gets 3 points, 18 to 15, per race more than third. For Norris to catch Piastri, finishing second while his teammate takes third won't be enough. He needs wins. And that's where Red Bull's opportunity emerges. McLaren boss Zak Brown acknowledges the threat, stating in the source material that they've got to pay attention to Max and keep doing what they're doing. But here's the tension. McLaren was used to seeing both drivers fighting for race wins. Now that Verstappen is back in the equation, any fight for second place between the McLaren drivers carries massive implications for the point swing. The source material draws a parallel to 2016 Mercedes and this year's Canadian Grand Prix, where intra-team battles led to contact. Andrea Stella, McLaren's team principal, firmly believes Verstappen can haul himself back into contention. In fact, when asked if Verstappen could return to championship fight, Stella said it was a firm yes, and even suggested it should be written in capitals. Red Bull might have unlocked performance that changes everything. But there's one factor that makes this comeback attempt even more compelling than the raw speed. The experience gap between Verstappen and McLaren's drivers could prove decisive. Let me explain why this psychological advantage matters more than you might think. The source material makes a critical observation. Verstappen has been under championship pressure in both 2021 and 2024. Neither McLaren driver has experienced what Max has faced. That championship-winning mentality, combined with technical improvements to the car, creates a formidable combination. After winning the 24-hour Nürburgring race, Verstappen is now focusing entirely on the Singaporean GP. His goal is methodical and realistic: 6 points more than Norris, 10 points more than Piastri. Anything beyond that is a bonus. This step-by-step approach reflects championship maturity. Verstappen himself takes a cautious approach to Singapore, stating in the source material that the track's difficulty depends on car behavior. If the car is good to drive, the physical challenge becomes manageable. If it's difficult to handle, keeping it straight becomes exhausting. The heat and sweating are constants that require preparation. What's fascinating is how Red Bull's leadership change has impacted performance. The source material suggests that when you have a technically knowledgeable leader who listens to drivers, you end up with a team capable of winning races again. The contrast to earlier in the season, when Red Bull was reportedly dealing with internal power struggles, couldn't be starker. Singapore will answer everything, but McLaren faces a decision that could define their entire season. Do they prioritize the Constructors' Championship by maintaining team harmony, or do they unleash their drivers to fight for individual glory, potentially opening the door for Verstappen? Because the mathematics of this championship creates an impossible situation. The source material includes a telling observation. One more DNF for Piastri changes the entire championship. While that might seem far-fetched, it highlights how precarious McLaren's position has become. They went from complete control to defending against a resurgent Red Bull and managing internal team dynamics simultaneously. Brown acknowledged at Baku that McLaren had a chance to wrap up the Constructors' Championship but didn't want to discuss what happened. That statement alone reveals the pressure McLaren is feeling. They have the fastest car on most tracks, yet they're looking over their shoulders. For Red Bull, the path is clear. Keep delivering upgrades that work. Let Verstappen do what he does best under pressure, and hope that McLaren's papaya rules create enough friction to gain those crucial points. The source material questions whether team orders will work when facing a four-time world champion, leading races with a team that finally understands its own car. Andrea Stella acknowledges that Red Bull might have unlocked performance and wouldn't be surprised if they continue their winning streak. He admits McLaren may not enjoy competitive advantages at every remaining race. That's a significant admission from a team principal whose drivers lead the championship. If Verstappen pulls this off, the source material suggests he'll cement his status as one of the greatest drivers in the sport's history. We're potentially witnessing Formula One's greatest championship comeback unfold in real time. So here's what we're watching. Can Red Bull's technical progress continue at tracks that historically don't suit them? Will McLaren's drivers maintain unity under increasing pressure? And does Verstappen's championship experience give him an edge that pure car performance can't match? Singapore provides our first major answer. The next race will reveal whether Red Bull's resurgence is genuine or just a temporary spike in form. What do you think? Can Verstappen complete this comeback? Let me know in the comments below.